Hello. I'm gonna do my video now. I was gonna do it maybe 20 minutes ago, and I was gonna put on a shirt and a tie. And then I came outside and looked at some of my old videos, and I went to settings, and I went down to the end of the list, and it says where your videos are from, and I clicked it, and it said B and Y services. I don't even know what that is. So I discarded my new changes, and I went to Google and I checked. And B and Y services is some company that helps you gain more hits on your internet company, more algorithms, more. I couldn't read much of it because I'm thinking, what is this? Did I say something that sounded profound, or like it may be worth something? Well, even at that, how could some company that I don't even know, never heard of, go to my settings on YouTube and say and write down that that's where my videos are coming from? It's amazing. Anyway, let me get off that. I said that for a purpose, so I wanted to let you guys know. iPhones, Androids, I don't care what it is, unless you own AT&T or Spectrum or something. We have no control. I want to get right to the point. With the civil unrest going on today, everybody's demonstrating, protesting. I'm happy. I'm glad, because I've been here a while, so I've seen a lot of things like this, a lot of injustice. I've suffered a lot of it myself, and that's the point that I want to get to. We're protesting, and we're just like back in the old days. I remember Jane Fonda and some white folks got involved way back in the day, and it was very helpful, very, very helpful, because then other people started listening. And then Martin Luther King said, bigots and racists, they bother me, but not as much as the other people, good people. Because good people who know right from wrong, why don't they step in and stop injustice and do the right thing? That's what I'm worried about. And so I always agreed with his thoughts and his ideas in that area. But look, we're kind of getting stuck now. We're talking about the athletes, especially athletes. I'm so happy. Thank you, guys and ladies. All the athletes have the platform, and you're speaking out against racism, and that's good. But we're kind of at a standstill now. We don't have a real direction because we don't have real speakers today. We have some. I don't mean to hurt people's feelings, but I got to say what I feel. We're liable to have 8 or 10 companies in the next month with black production names on the signs to their doors, with a bunch of white lawyers who are sitting on the board of directors, who athletes and companies that athletes work for might give money to, to get a little bit of the guilt trip up off of their back, out of their backpack. And that money will never reach any idea or law that will change the judicial system in America. Now, I did this video 6 days ago, and it was deleted mysteriously from my YouTube, from my phone, from my whole phone, from my video player, and from my camera. We need affirmative action. We need to be able to go back to school because blacks don't have big jobs. We can't pay for tuition. We need that. But the big thing, the reason that I am living today, the reason I am here, the reason I'm talking now is because I personally have been involved in some of the worst, most terrible, judicious racism, more than Alfred Hitchcock could write about. I'm thinking of Henry Fonda and The Wrong Man and many other movies. I've been in a lot worse stuff than that. I jot down a few things. I'm writing it all down now in a notebook, and hopefully, if I live, I will get it written. But it's nice to have athletes. It's nice to have preachers and counselors, politicians who talk. But you need to know what's going on before you can make something right. Like, you got to know you're a dope fiend before you can get cleaned up, right? So you need to know from a guy like me, you need to know what the judicial system has done to black guys. They've done black women too, but throughout my speech, I'll say guys because I'm old school. I'm used to saying that. But you need to know there are not many of us left like me, my age. There are guys who were on the wrong side of the fence. My age, they're either 6 feet under or they're doing all day in some prison. I'm telling you, there are things that you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. I had a shirt, a Jimi Hendrix shirt with 20 pockets on it. The shirt was washed and dried at the laundromat. I was working at a liquor store on 88th and Western Avenue, Murray's Liquor. In fact, I met Oscar Robertson in there. They had a pool table in there. But anyway, I got paid one day, and I'm making a left turn off of 54th onto Western Avenue, and the police stopped me. He said I didn't put on my turn signal. I had a '64 Thunderbird. I bought it from an electrician in the neighborhood. I was very young, 20 years old. The only reason I had a car that cool and that new was because the electrician was an old alcoholic guy. And I just told you, I was the assistant manager at the liquor store. So anyway, I say all that because maybe that's why the cops stopped me anyway. My wife was in the car. She was pregnant. I thought I'd get a ticket. I had license. Everything was correct. I'm smiling. So he searches me, and in the bottom pocket on the right-hand side at the bottom, they were all flap-type pockets with buttons on them. It's a Jimi Hendrix shirt. The officer opened it, and it had 2 seeds, marijuana seeds, one little Y-shaped stem, and a tiny, this small piece of zigzag. You could see it had been washed. There was not one drop of marijuana anywhere on my breath. I didn't even smoke much marijuana anyway when I was young. Never drank. Well, I did a few times, but I got too drunk and I quit drinking when I was, 17 or 18. But with what he found in my pocket, with me being paid on my off day, taking my wife to the hospital, 7 months pregnant. They took me to jail for possession for sale of marijuana. I bailed out. My mom bailed me out. My uncle knew Earl C. Brody. They came and got me out of jail. I went to court every day. Across the hall from me was Charles Manson. I saw the news media. I saw the girls, the Manson girls, every day. Every time I went to court, I saw them. I saw them when they had long hair. I saw them when they tried to buff it out and make it look like an afro. I saw them when they cut all their hair off and set it on the curb outside. This was at the old glass house, or 150 North Los Angeles. You're down there. They've built new buildings now, but this was but Charles Manson was across the street from me. In fact, I'm getting on the elevator, and I see, hello, this is Warren Wilson reporting live, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. He looked like he was about 6'8". A mean, shitty dude, too. Had a bad attitude. But I wound up getting 3 years probation, and I had to pay $25 a month to the probation department because I copped out. Like I said, I'm going to court for a couple of months on a dumb case like that. And I just want to be done with it because I'm a young man, 20 years old, barely 20, and I'm assistant manager at a liquor store. I'm doing fine. And I want to get done with this. So just finally one day, Mr. Brody says, well, the DA says he's tired of fooling around with this. You want to go home? I said, yeah, man, I want to go home. He said, well, we're going to plead no contest. What the hell do I know? No contest. No contest. Perry Mason couldn't have convicted me. Hamilton Berger couldn't have convicted me. There was no weed. But anyway, I'm not saying Mr. Brody wasn't a good lawyer, because he helped me later, which I'll tell you about later. But yeah, I got that kind of case. That's what the judicial system does. That's what I want to tell you people. If a black guy survives an abusive arrest, if he doesn't get shot, paralyzed, concussion, get the hell beat out of him, if he survives all of that, he's still snookered, buddy. He's in the system. He's in the system. That means everything. That means everything later on. I'm saying that because this case, whenever Charles Manson got arrested, now, Vincent Bugliosi, I had a good friend, Mike Averill. His brother drove race cars. Rich white kid. Yeah. Bugliosi I think he went to USC with Mike. Mike was a pharmacist. But I knew Mike. Mike owned the pharmacy at a hospital where I worked at in the evenings. And I'm going to court with Charles Manson way back then. I went to get a job at the Hollywood Casino, and in December 2019, my criminal check came back. All of that shit was on my jacket. They did not hire me. They did not hire me. The early 70s. This is 2020. What I'm saying to you people is, don't just let those big companies, don't let politicians get a bunch of millions of dollars and give them to companies, and those companies say, well, we're going to help. How are you going to help? How are you going to help? If you give $100 billion to Black Lives Matter, what's going to happen with that? You know how many lawyers and attorneys are going to be filtering that money if they got that much money? Can you imagine? If they didn't filter all of it out, what Black Lives Matter, what are they going to do? Who do they know? Who do they really know? Like I said, there are not many of us left. Who do they know that was really, really, really mistreated by the system? I'm a big sports fan. I should be coaching the Lakers, the Raiders, the Rams, the Dodgers, especially the Dodgers. I should be running Cedars-Sinai Hospital. I know some people are smiling now and they're thinking that, but my IQ could be 161. How would you know? Maybe my SATs were in the top 3% in the state. My name is Ronald J. Rooney. Check it. Anyway, you need a direction. If they say, well, we're not going to beat up black youngsters anymore when we stop them and arrest them, that's not enough. We got to do something with the system. The judicial system is where it kills us. They busted me in 1969, and they fingerprinted me at Pepperdine University when I was 17. And that came back on my background check. The woman's name, the police officer, is Rosalind Marshall. She does the background checks at the Inglewood police station. She called me. No, she didn't call me. She told the Hollywood Casino. I finagled her name from them, and I went to the police station to talk to her. 1967 or 68. They took me to 77 police station and fingerprinted me and 3 other youngsters, all 16, 17 years old, and put us in the system. Check it. I'll get back to you. I'm writing about this stuff now. But look on my YouTube channel. They've deleted some of my videos. And like I said, I just found out today that my YouTube channel said that my videos were coming from B and Y services. What the hell? You guys better find, while you got these ears open and people are listening, figure out what you're going to do to make them do the right thing and get some reprimands. But you got to give them a direction, because they're not just going to, look, they took America from the Indians, and Marlon Brando and a few decent white folks gave the Indians a little land. Well, they gave them some land, but then they found gold in the Black Hills, and then they took that because they're greedy and they needed that. But anyway, Marlon Brando and the government felt some guilt, and they gave them a little land, so they built a couple of casinos and stuff. And for whatever business reasons, if they make $10 over the allotted profit, you'll see something in the newspaper where the government is getting on the Indian casinos and making them cut back on something. Taking their whole country, and you getting on them about a few dollars. You think that those same people, or the descendants of those people, are going to feel enough guilt to do the right thing and try to be really, really judicious and equal in how they administrate things and follow that Constitution, irregardless of race, creed, or color? You think that? you better figure out a direction and give it to them. Okay?